Hello, 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 back again, Inspirators. So, I am back with the red gravy meatloaf, and I'm going to show you the semi-way to make this meatloaf. And it's really just as good as scratch. So, y'all come on along with me, and I'm going to show y'all how we do this, okay? Let's take this stroll, y'all. Okay, y'all, let's start out with 2 pounds of ground beef. And then we're going to go on with our seasonings. Let's go with paprika. And most of this recipe I will be eyeballing. And at the same time, I will be calling out the measurements every now and then. So kind of listen up closely so that you can hear in case I got some type of specific technique of doing things. So I advise that you would listen carefully on this video. Okay, we going with thyme. Put half teaspoon of thyme. Then we just put parsley into the mix. I'm placing a little bit more parsley in. That's a teaspoon. And then fennel seed. I'm going to place at least a teaspoon of fennel seed. And I also placed cumin into it, which was a teaspoon also. And here we go with turmeric. We're going to do a teaspoon of just about everything I am placing in here. And here I come with black pepper. We are basically eyeballing on a teaspoon level all of our seasonings. Okay, we have garlic. We're going to go with the garlic. And y'all know what I'm coming with next. Onion powder. Onion powder, teaspoon of that as well. And like I always say, season it to your liking. Okay, we also have a tablespoon of sun-dried tomato. You do not have to put that in there, that is optional. And we have onion, and we also have chopped bell peppers. That's a half of a medium onion and a third of a whole bell pepper. Okay, we're gonna go with 2 teaspoons of bouillon chicken. You can either use bouillon beef powder or bouillon chicken powder. I always like bouillon chicken powder. It just sets off the flavor. Just a little bit more tastier than beef to me. So I always use chicken bouillon. Okay, we're going with the lactate milk. You do not have to use lactate milk. And I'm going to go about with a half cup of lactate milk. You can also use whole milk. Okay, we also have one egg. And then I'm going to come with breadcrumbs. Notice this is plain breadcrumbs. No salt added. Okay, that is about a cup of breadcrumbs. And as we go along, I am going to wash my hands because to avoid cross-contamination. And yes, I have one glove on. I couldn't find the other one, y'all. So I'm doing what I can to make this happen. Okay, we're going to dry our hands well. Okay, here I go. And then we're going to brown our beef with our hands. And we're going to mix all this together real well. gonna mix it real well until we have everything combined together well. And I want to thank all the subscribers, inspirators, and the newbies that has stumbled up on my channel. I hope you like it, and I hope you like it well enough to subscribe. Okay, we're going to come with at least about 3 tablespoons of this all-purpose flour. Then we're also going to come with some more breadcrumbs, about a ½ cup full. So in all, you will be placing a cup and a half of breadcrumbs and 3 tablespoons of flour. And what this flour do, what it does, it kind of help the meat. When it forms into a meatloaf, it helps it stay together. And our crumbs also give us moisture to our meatloaf. I'm gonna place it in this ceramic pan. You can also line your pan with foil if you want to avoid a messy pan, and it also would protect your meatloaf batter from cooking on the outside faster than it would on the inside. But I'm not going to do it that way. Instead, I'm going to place our meatloaf into this pan, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to form the meatloaf shape. And once I get this meatloaf shape formed into a meatloaf, I'm going to place a foil over the top of my meatloaf. I'm going to shape it up well. And while I'm doing so, I'm going to try to do as much as possible. I'm going to try to hide the bell peppers and the onions as much as possible. But you know, that's okay too. If you want your bell peppers and onions showing on the top of your meatloaf, that's fine too. But that is one of my personal things I have. That's a personal hang up. It's okay to let your onions show. It's not against the law to let your bell peppers and your onions show on your meatloaf. That's just a personal thing. Okay, I formed a ditch in the middle of it, and there I am trying to hide most of those bell peppers and onions. It's not going to make a difference. Once again, it's not going to make a difference how it's going to taste or anything. It's still going to be that great meatloaf, whether you let those bell peppers and onions hang out or whether you hide them. Still going to be a great meatloaf. Okay, we're going to chop that ditch in there again. What that ditch do is kind of hold that juice on that meatloaf so it won't roll right off while it's baking. It kind of gives us a little add to the moisture of the meatloaf. Okay, here we go. We have placed that meatloaf in the oven and it is ready, y'all. It's ready. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna scrape all of those little fattening scrapes off of the meatloaf, as you can see. And I poured the oil off of the meatloaf. You can leave a little of that oil on there if you want to. If you like a juicy sauce, your sauce a little greasy, you can also leave it on there. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to start on our sauce right now. And I'm starting with tomato paste. Yes, I'm thinking this is a 6 ounce can of tomato paste. And you do not have to actually, this is optional. You don't have to add tomato paste, but I do this for a thicker sauce. If you want a thinner sauce, do not add tomato paste. Just add a little, like 3 tablespoons of flour into your sauce, your Prego sauce. And the other ingredients as well. You really don't have to add those either, but this is what I do. Okay, I have 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna combine this together. I'm gonna mix it real well. This recipe has a lot of options in it. Okay, I got it mixed well, as y'all can see. Add flour into that tomato paste. And this is gonna help your red gravy thicken up a lot. Add a few more seasonings in it, just a little bit more. This is the way I like it. You do not have to add any extra seasons at all if you don't want, because it is in the Prego sauce. But I choose to do so. When it comes to seasonings, go by your taste. I'm adding my black pepper and my table salt. A teaspoon of table salt. And then we're going to come with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. You can also add 2 tablespoons of white sugar if you choose to. But you also can add more sugar if you want to, at least up to 4 tablespoons if you want a Swedish tangy sauce. And I like mine Swedish tangy. So I probably will be adding 2 more tablespoons of white sugar or brown sugar into the mix. And the brown sugar makes it more like a sticky texture sauce. So you have a choice on that. Okay, then I'm going to add half of my Prego sauce. I'm going to mix it all together. I'm going to add that in all together. Yeah, this is a recipe that you can kind of play with to your liking. And this is what I usually do. Sometimes I put half Prego and I do half broth, but I'm not doing broth this time. I'm doing water. So I'm going to mix that real well because I already have bouillon powder in this mix. So we have to pay close attention what we have in our mix as a seasoning, because we do not want a salty sauce. Okay, I added the remaining of the Prego, and this Prego has sausage, Italian sausage in it, which make it extra. All right, we're gonna come with our water, and on this recipe, we are adding 2 cups of water into our sauce. You can thin it out as much as you want. You can also come with a 3rd cup. But whatever you choose, you like your sauce thin, you can, use all the ingredients. And okay, here I come with another cup. This will be the 2nd cup. Yeah, we have to get that extra sauce out of there. There we go. We have to get it all. Then you might want to, as you go along, you might want to taste your sauce. It might not be Swedish tangy enough. So you might want to add whatever, you're missing. But what I'm going to do, I usually come out pretty good with what I added into the mix. And as y'all can see, that caramel on the side of that dish, I did not get rid of it because it is a part of the goodness that's going to be in this here meatloaf. Yes, it's going to come off of that pan and it's going to mix in with our gravy. And no, I will not be overcooking the meatloaf. because the sauce will protect it from overcooking. So we're going to let our sauce bubble up around our meatloaf, and that's when we're going to know that it is ready. We're going to set our oven to 350, and we're going to place this meatloaf back into the oven. And yes, I put the meatloaf into the oven before I cooked it. Before I started cooking it, I placed it with foil so that it would not overcook on the outside. That's what I did when I brought it out the oven. Before I brought it out the oven, my bad. All right, here we go. Our meatloaf is ready. As you see, the bubbly all on the side there. There we go. Looks kind of luscious there, y'all. Okay, we're gonna slice. I allowed it to cool down, so I'm gonna slice that little butt off of there. I usually go for the little butt end because it holds so much flavor, but I'm not going to today, in order to let you all see how this meatloaf look on the inside. Let's take a closer look at that, you all. Let's take a closer look. All right. It's piping hot and it's still holding itself together. And that's the benefit of placing that flour into it. And breadcrumbs does help too. I'm gonna place it on my dish. On this dish, you all, I have some crispy russet potato, mashed russet potato skins, with the skins included. I like my potatoes that way. All right, we're gonna place our second piece on. Then we're gonna move that little butt out the way. We're gonna get us a little bit of that thick sauce. Like I said, once again, you like your sauce thin, add more water and more seasoning to the taste. Or broth, or whatever you want to add. Okay, we're gonna place that on there, and then I'm gonna let the inspirators try this gorgeous looking meatloaf. Inspirators first. Okay, here we go. Look at that corn. That corn even want a piece of that meatloaf. All right, we're gonna dab that into that sauce a little bit. Let's dab our meatloaf. Dab it a little bit. Then y'all take a close look, inspirators. Taste that, inspirators. All right. Oh goodness, that is so great. Going along with those crispy potatoes with that butter melted in there. Then we come in with our corn. Yes, I don't do bread all the time when I eat dinner. I'm one of those type people. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Comment, like, subscribe. And also, I want to thank y'all once again for taking that stroll just to see how everything goes when living with V.